Hey everyone, it's Dean DeCosta Search Authority, and this is the last video. This is the OSINT Search Grd OSG Other 2, and basically what does that mean? These are the other places you would search. These are not primary search areas, just like OSG, other OSG1 was not. These are more secondary, but these are These are going to be some of the places where you're going to go, especially when you start off with very limited information. So we're going to look at this. Again, I'm going to probably use sourcing links just to go ahead and start because it's easier and quicker because I have everything that's right in front of me. That said, of course, you can utilize the same tools I'll be using out of the sourcing links by getting them off the SSAR page or finding them yourselves. We're going to start with business and government. I have Expedia in here. Some of the information I would look for would be org charts. Org charts are cool. This is the org chart. This is the executive leadership from there. This is the Biz Connect one. Here's the Zoom info lead. You get the general idea. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to the images just to make it easier. Org charts, org chart, org chart, like org charts. So there you go. I mean, come on. You now know a whole lot of info. Another thing I like to look here for is the warrant tracker to get an idea. Do they plan on making any layoffs? That really comes in handy, especially if you're trying to get a hold of candidates and now they're nervous because, hey, I heard you guys are going to be doing a layoff here in Texas in basically the middle of November, right before Thanksgiving. Who lays off people right before Thanksgiving? Anyway, so there you go. The other things you can look under layoffs and stuff here. You can get an idea how much money they have. You can get an idea if they have any contracts they recently won. So like defense contracts. Let's see, has Expedia won any recently? Nope. Well, that makes sense. They're not a defense contractor. But anyway, you get the idea. All that is really, really good information. Now, I kept talking about the person I had to find who started with an S I knew worked for a particular company. I actually started here with the company first. I wanted to get an idea how many people in the company, how big they were as far as financials goes. I wanted to see if I could get an org chart and get an idea of what group I might be targeting. I also wanted to see if they had the layoff stuff done and all that, because that's all background information that can help me narrow it down. You'll notice we even go through this here. Business and government, we have the financial stuff, and a couple examples to look at. The warrant stuff, the org chart stuff, open jobs. It's good to know because you'd be surprised the information you might get. Press releases and stuff. This is really cool, especially if it's executive or high enough up, because a lot of times companies like to announce, hey, John Tucker just became the vice president of whatever. And then lastly, it says LinkedIn and other. At the point I was ready to where I knew how big the company was for a fact, I knew all the other info about the company, since that was one piece of information I had. The other was just they started with an S. And then after talking to the hiring manager, I realized the type of position it probably was, as far as whether it's like HR or finance or engineering or whatever. At that point, I was ready to go in and pull all those people in the company started with S. And then once I did that, I got rid of the ones that definitely weren't in the right job, because based on what the hiring manager was looking for and based on the information of the group he's in, it could only be one thing. So that's where this all started. With that limited information started here, because the two pieces of information I knew for a fact was the S and the company. Then obviously doing my own research about my own company and the whole thing, the hiring manager, I had an idea what kind of position it would be for. So that narrowed it down, but that still started here. And the reason it started here is because right up here we have words and titles. I took the group that the hiring manager was in and his title and went ahead and did research on what titles might fall below him. I did use some ChatGPT AI stuff, which would fall under other, but so that helped me as well. Next thing up here is salary. It's good to know the salary information for people, only because it allows you to get an idea of what level they might be. I mean, you might just know, okay, well, he's in the group for project manager, so I know the person I'm looking for is probably a project manager, but what level project manager? There's probably going to be more than one person with an S in a huge company who's a project manager, but what level? Salary is a way to figure it out real quick, because obviously the higher level, they're probably making more. And then word title research gives you a better idea, like I said, what titles might be below the person. Gives you an idea about terms and all sorts of good stuff. And again, like with everything, and I'm going to show you a little bit of this, it all comes down to, once you get all the information you got here, you want to go ahead and use the information you have relevant to each of the other OSGs to gain more information. And again, whether you're copying and pasting into a Word doc or copying and pasting into a folder or using the tool I showed you in, I believe it was video 1 or 2, doesn't matter as long as you're doing it. And then you can put it all together. Sounds like it's a lot of work, and it might be the first time or two you do it, but after that you'll get used to where to go for what information, and you'll get used to knowing which OSG to start with based on the information you have available. So let's show some of these. We are going to go over here and we're going to go into the salary stuff first, only because that's fun. We're going to put up the word. Now keep in mind, sometimes it's tough because some of them they want a very specific title, like Java developer, some just developer. So let's look. Let's go to salary.com and give it a second. And okay, we got developer. Now we pick the one we want. We'll go with Java. I mean, I love picking on Java. Who doesn't? And there you go. There's your salary. There's your salary information. Nice. And you can add information here that can be more specific for you if you'd like. Within the levels, you can actually compare salaries and levels from one company to another. That is not part of the sourcing links yet. It will be, because I've just figured out how to do it. So I will be adding it, programming it. But that's the general idea of what the salary will get you. It will get you the information, and it'll sometimes even get you an idea of the requirements for the job. So next up is the writing, thesaurus, tech maps, all that good stuff. Now where this comes in handy, which I really love, is a lot of things. So let's, as an example, say you need to find a Java developer. Well, first you need to learn what's Java. Tech maps, love tech maps. So we're going to wait and do it. It's going to open up and it's going to give me all the different Javas. Well, we're going to go with this one right here because it says Java. Down here you get links to a bunch of stuff. What is Java? I always forget what year Java was, the core Java was. It was 1995. For some reason I keep thinking it was 96, but anyway. You have technology types, translations, and then you have the biggie, synonyms. This is your OR statement. This is where you want to go ahead and grab all of these right here, copy them, pay attention because this one's going to be cool. In my case, I'm going to open a text writer, get rid of all that because I've already used all that, get this and get all of them to make sure they're pretty, and then I'm going to be smart in the equipment I work with. I'm going to go ahead and use ChatGPT, and I'm going to tell it to take, type ding dong, take, and spell it right, take the list of below skills and make a Boolean or string, and then we're going to type them in there and let's see what it does. It may not. It may be stupid. ChatGPT at its best. Oh, look at that. There you go. There you go. Or string. You're done. Keep in mind, Google only lets you use 30-something words, 32, I believe, so you're not going to be able to use all of these. But you get the hint of how you can do it. Now, another way to do this, and I'm just in a good mood, so I'm going to add you some other thing, is I'm going to do this. I'm going to type in the word Java, and then I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to come down here to a tool called Native Current. Native Current is a cool tool, and now I got my OR string. Basically, it's a tool that allows you to add a Excel spreadsheet with all the words that you're looking for in a column, and then you can look it up after, and it will create the OR string for you of everything in that column. So it makes life simple. Of course, there are other ways to do it too, but this is the couple of ways. Anyway, so that's what this particular thing can do for you. Now, keep in mind, within the word search, there's other things. Titles. What other titles might be good for a Java developer? Whatever. Now, how did this section come in for me for the example I've been using with the letter and all that is once I narrowed it down to a couple, I took their job titles and I put it in here and I ran it, and then I went ahead and gathered that information, and then the next thing I did is I went to since I already knew the company name and I already knew the level and everything, it was easy to narrow down to the one. But I went in here first because I wanted to make sure that the titles these people had was really relevant to what I was looking for. So that's how I used it. But for that particular search, truthfully, I didn't need to do this. This was just me making sure. I didn't really need to do this. Again, me making sure. I started here, and that led me to the other that led me to the other OSGs, and that was it. I started here because of the information about the company, and then I the LinkedIn to pull all the S's, and then I went to the other OSGs to narrow them down, and then contact info and all the other stuff. So I think you get the idea. But that's the OSINT Search Grid, and maybe that might not be the right term, Search Grid, but I like it because it's basically you come here, depending on what you get here, you might come here, you might come down and get more, you might come here, you might come down here, you might go here, you might go to another OSG. So Search Grid, whatever. You know, it's not the left, right, up, down type grid. It's more like the follow the yellow brick road kind of thing, or the jelly beans, or whatever it was they used in Hansel and Gretel. So there you go. That is it. That is the complete system and everything. And keep in mind, this other is big. If we look on sourcing links, other under the government section, I list 5, but look how many other places there are to search. And there's going to be more soon because I got more to add. So, you know, that's it. And like I said, I'm not telling you have to get sourcing links. Okay? It's under sourcinglinks.com, the sourcinglinks.com, whatever. What I am telling you, though, is if you don't want to get sourcing links, then you need to take the tools I already showed you or any others you know of, bookmark them, put them in a folder, and email and name them so you have them available to you. So you aren't having to constantly look for them and everything like that. Of course, you'll have to retype things in one by one, but so be it. And if any of the ones you have don't work, you're going to have to go back to the SSAR page. So let's kind of go through this real quick. Just so we're all on the same page here on a few things. So first of all, we're going to kind of digress here a minute. The SSAR page, Staffing, Sourcing, and Recruiting. There are 4 staffing, sourcing, and recruiting ones. Then there's the CSE Utopia, custom search engines. Then there's the search engine Utopia, all the search engines you can imagine. Then there's the OSINT one, which is open source intelligent tools. And then there's the AI, which is boatloads of AI. Matter of fact, Perplexity, which is the tool I use, it's on there. Next, you have the plethora of different OSGs, OSINT search grids, that are available, that I've showed you about. You've got, and the videos aren't covering. The general, just here's how it starts and how it works one. Then you're going to get into the name, the email, username, the data types, phone, and then the others. This is the beginning part here where you have the different types of data available that you need to keep in mind when you're searching. And this is really good because this helps you when you have limited information. It gives you an idea if the information you have can even help you, which it almost always can. And then that's it. And then sourcing is, of course, which can do it all from one place. Or, like I said, you can find your own tools and create your own little thing. I actually do, you know, I have this OSINT thing here, and it's got different tools in it. Almost every tool in it, though, is in sourcing links, so I don't use it very often, but I like having it there just in case. So that's it. My name is Dean DaCosta of the Search Authority. For the last 5-6 videos, you've been looking at the open source grid, OSINT Search Grid, as well as SSAR page and sourcing links. May the source be with you.